Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight is more than a typical superhero film. It is a reflection on how societies try to maintain order in the face of fear and violence. Rather than presenting a simple battle between good and evil, the film explores different ideas about what keeps a society stable. In doing so, it closely echoes the political philosophy of Thomas Hobbes, who argues that social order is built on fear. Seen through this lens, The Dark Knight becomes the expression of how fragile modern social order really is. Careful, spoilers ahead. Hobbes famously claims that civilization is born out of fear. According to him, humans escape the violence and uncertainty of their natural condition by submitting to a powerful authority that can enforce peace. Social order, then, is not natural or moral, but artificial, held together by power, discipline, and the shared fear of punishment. Gotham City functions as a cinematic experiment that puts this idea to the test. What happens when fear no longer leads to order, but instead begins to destroy it? The Joker acts as a direct challenge to Hobbes' assumptions. He does not seek power, wealth, or control. Instead, he wants to expose how weak the foundations of social order really are. He shows that laws and moral rules only work when things are going according to plan. By placing people in extreme situations, he tries to push Gotham back toward Hobbes' state of nature, where survival matters more than ethics. The Joker does not so much create chaos as reveal how close chaos already is. From a Hobbesian perspective, he exposes how thin and conditional the social contract truly is. Batman, by contrast, takes on the role of an extra-legal sovereign. Hobbes argues that a divided power, such as in a democracy, risks disorder, and that strong centralized authority is necessary to maintain peace. Batman reflects this logic by operating outside the law. He uses fear, violence, and eventually mass surveillance to protect Gotham. The sonar system, in particular, illustrates Hobbes' claim that individual freedom may need to be limited to preserve life itself. However, Nolan does not fully endorse this view. Lucius Fox's discomfort with the surveillance system highlights the moral cost of such absolute power in a modern society. Harvey Dent represents another key tension in Hobbes' theory. Authority needs legitimacy, not just force. While Hobbes emphasizes coercion, he also understands that people must believe in authority for it to work. Dent serves as Gotham's public symbol of lawful justice, showing that the system can function without fear alone. His fall into Two-Face marks the collapse of this legitimacy. When Dent begins to rely on chance rather than reason, justice turns into revenge, proving the Joker's point that moral order breaks down under pressure. The Ferry experiment is the film's clearest test of Hobbes' pessimism about human nature. Hobbes assumes that when people fear for their lives, they will act violently to protect themselves. The Joker expects the same outcome. When the passengers refuse to kill each other, the film complicates Hobbes' view. Still, Nolan does not offer a simple rejection of Hobbes. The passenger's moral choice depends heavily on circumstances, suggesting that ethical behavior is possible, but never guaranteed. Social order survives, but only barely. The film's ending brings the story firmly back to Hobbes. Batman chooses to take responsibility for Dent's crimes in order to preserve public faith in Gotham's institutions. Stability becomes more important than truth. From a Hobbesian perspective, this lie is not a moral failure, but a necessity. Order must be protected even at the expense of individual justice.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Batman becomes a villain in the public eye so that society itself does not descend into chaos. He becomes the monster society needs so that society does not become monstrous itself. In the end, The Dark Knight does not reject Hobbes' vision of social order, it modernizes it. Nolan presents a society where authority depends not only on laws or leaders, but on symbols, stories, and public belief. Order remains fragile, fear remains central, and peace comes at a moral cost. Gotham survives not because it is just, but because its citizens and its Dark Knight continue to believe that survival is worth the lie. Thank you for watching this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you want to keep track of other videos. Don't hesitate to leave a comment or to contact me if you want to know more. See you next time!